Well, they're not telling you about the school zone speeding reform bill. Jackie was shocked when school zone speed cameras claimed she was speeding through a school zone.
You have never had a ticket before, a speeding ticket.
The 68-year-old Atlanta resident admitted.
If they go back and look, I went to court for a speeding ticket, but that was when my children was in, but my oldest child was almost 50.
Oh, wow. And when you went to court for the speeding ticket, what happened?
The judge dropped
The notification showing Jackie in her sister's car is too dark for her to make out. She says she doesn't know if it's her car or not.
There wasn't no lights on out there that day. Nobody flashing there at that school anywhere.
Okay.
Actually, the crossing guard wasn't even out there.
Jackie had been driving her sister's car for some time, but the notification concerning the ticket didn't come to her sister's home until the first week of March. By the time she got it, she had days to pay it. The ticket was dated February the 6th, 2025. Jackie received a notice from her sister on March 1st. Payment was due March 9th. To dispute the ticket, the back of the letter gave Jackie several options. Calling the 800 number connects callers to a call center in Seattle. It also provided her with a fax number and email address. During Jackie's call, she was instructed to mail in her dispute. The address listed is in Arizona. Either way, waiting for a response would put her past the payment due date. Jackie decided that she had to pay it. They were going to suspend her sister's registration if she didn't. Bills to reform or ban school zone cameras. The Georgia Senate will be taking up the cause of alleged out-of-control speeding in school zones in two bills. Bill 225 will ban school zone speeding cameras altogether due to what has been described as taxation through citation. Raising a whopping $112 million in revenue from these cameras has been a windfall for counties using them. But according to the Georgia Department of Revenue, 133,000 people could not renew their vehicle registration and get a new tag due to school zone speed violations. Georgia State Senator Nikki Merritt was eager to discuss her concerns when we reached out to her.
Cameras, and it's not because I've gotten caught. I think they have been used. I think they're discriminatory. I know exactly Gwinnett County where they have been placing those bills. I can tell you one of our cities, Snellville, well, two actually, and Norcross, have been abusing speed cameras and using it as a way to get revenue for their city. A lot of times those cameras are on during when school is not used. So I think speed cameras are being misused. We need to regulate them. We need to reel in this practice. And if cities need to make money, this cannot be your primary source of money. The only thing I would like to see, and maybe one of the bills has it or not has, I don't really know, the revenue that is two things. I think we should be putting in speed bumps. If y'all want to slow people down, put in little speed bumps or whatever that is that on the road that makes it like rough and makes people slow down. That's where you should be putting the money at. And if you're going to collect revenue, let's take that revenue and give it back to the schools so they can start investing in road safety, whatever that looks like, road safety solutions, whether that's putting up, walkways or with the barriers or whether that's putting in speed bumps. That is how, in my eyes, a better way to keep kids safe. And I'm all about keeping kids safe. But there is a line here, especially when I see you got cameras on when school loses events. Now we got a problem. When I see more of them popping up in neighborhoods that are predominantly minority, I got a problem with it. So I think they've been abused. And it's time for us to reel it in.
Local Atlanta Channel 46's investigation into claims that speed zone cameras save lives were found to be false. There was no change in the number of children being killed as pedestrians, and there was an actual increase in adult fatalities in the same period. In their story, they cited data from the National Highway Safety Administration, which showed pedestrian fatalities in Georgia have steadily increased since the cameras were installed, from 262 in 2019 to 3 345 in 2022, the most available year. That's a 31% increase. The number of school-aged children's deaths has remained mostly unchanged over that period. Yet the reform bill received more support than banning the cameras altogether. Georgia representatives voted 164-8 to pass the reform bill. Bill 225, which bans speed cameras altogether, passed by 129-37. So what's in the reform bill? The second option. Representative Alan Powell's Reform Bill 651 will stop the speed camera companies from putting a lien on licenses, which will prevent license registrations from being suspended. It will require camera operators to only operate at certain times, the hour before school starts and 1 hour after school ends. It also requires that anyone who wants to dispute their ticket will have to show up in court.
Big zone cameras are civil. They're not criminal. They're not a traffic violation. They're a civil matter.
But a court date will be listed on the citation that arrives in the mail, which means you will have to take time, possibly miss or be late for work, to address a citation you believe you received unfairly. When asked how he thinks people disputing their citations will affect the backlog many counties are currently experiencing, he answered frankly.
You know what? I'm not quite sure what I'm concerned about, except cleaning up an ill-gotten bill.
The data doesn't show any benefit for Georgia's children from the program and even shows more pedestrian accident deaths for adults. But lawmakers in support of the reform bill continue to claim safety is behind their concern and not the $700 million in tickets issued by the camera companies since 2019. Representative Alan Powell admitted.
The